So, the other day, Onision made a video where he explained that victims of abuse are morons. They're morons because, they're the stupid ones for not getting out of the relationship. One thing I just want to come straight out and say is that, Onision, you gotta stop talking about these subjects as if you know, a single thing about what you're talking about, because you don't. You've proved time and time again that you don't understand any of these subjects, like addiction. You don't understand eating disorders. You don't understand self-harm. You don't understand depression. You don't understand domestic abuse. The reason why he said this was because he was being domestically abused by Shiloh. Right. Okay. That's funny. That's a good joke. That's a good one. Tee-hee. You're old enough now to a point where you should have grown as a person, but you haven't. You're still an angsty idiot that just wants to trigger people, and that's really about it. But my god, Shiloh was not your abuser, so how are you acting as if you understand what it's like to be abused by a partner? You insufferable buffoon. What a ridiculous thing to say. You don't know what an abusive relationship is like. What are you talking about? An abusive relationship is where someone is abused to the point where they don't know what to do. They feel like they love this person. Maybe that's part to do with Stockholm Syndrome. So they feel like no one will ever love them. This person will beat it into them that they will be the only person that's ever worthy of them. Like they're not good enough for anyone else. That sort of thing. It's a very manipulative way of doing things. So, sorry, did you go through that? Did Shiloh abuse you to the point where you didn't know who to trust anymore? Is that what happened? Because it isn't. It just isn't. Her trying to say that she wants to kill herself or whatever, and that, Onision would be the fault of that. This isn't someone abusing you. This is someone with a very severe mental health problem that you are not equipped to deal with. It's just as basic as that. But that doesn't mean you just pawn them off onto whoever because, not really my problem. I'm just your boyfriend. I'm just supposed to love you. But, can't really be bothered. Seems a bit just don't want to deal with the stress of it. Just calm down. I think someone's trying to break into my room. Excuse me. I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. Anyway, you put me off my train of thought wherever you've gone. Anyway, hello, my name's Physic. Welcome back to Physic Talks. If you enjoyed today's video, please do leave it a like and subscribe if you want to help support me and my channel. If you want to support me even further, you can donate to my channel via the PayPal link in the description or join my Patreon and get lots of exclusive content on my Twitter, Discord, whatever. I want to say thank you to Lauren who donated last time. I really do appreciate that. That's one of the first time anyone's actually donated via that way as opposed to during stream. So my thanks goes out to you. I really do appreciate the extra help. It means a lot in these trying times with this goddamn apocalypse and everything being a nightmare with the quarantine and stuff. I do appreciate any sort of extra support, so thank you so much. Many thanks. Right, on with the topic of domestic abuse and this poor victim Onision who definitely has been through enough to decide that victims of abuse are idiots. You can't say that because you haven't experienced domestic abuse. So are you that on your high horse? Are you so arrogant to assume that you can call all victims of abuse idiots because you think you've been through it, because a girl was a little bit too much to deal with? Jesus, you are the most delusional man in the world. You really are. There's not really much question about that at the minute, especially on YouTube. You're a delusional, arrogant idiot. It's just that simple. Yes, he has annoyed me much over the years, and I may be cracking at the seams. But we're gonna have a look at his latest video titled, not condescendingly, "Y'all are dumb." Well, thanks. Great title, as always. Big kitty cat. It's a little What you got? There's something on your footsies. Silly little kitty. Ah. Ah! You messed up all my hair. God damn it, kitty cat.
Hey guys, I wanted to talk real quick about abusive relationships, specifically people who are in them. This isn't probably what you're going to expect in any video about abusive relationships.
Yes, because for a start, you just don't know what you're talking about. Whereas probably most people that create domestic abuse videos have suffered it themselves, so would actually have a clue.
I feel like you guys are hopeless and incapable. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're in an abusive relationship, like for instance I was once, I would dump this girl over and over again because she was so abusive.
That's amazing. It's amazing that you're like, are you blind? Is your brain like blind? Like, is that possible? I think you'd be the first to have ever experienced this. But how can you not see and hear the things you're saying? You dumped her over and over again, but still she abused you. So what that means is still she was a hassle. What are you... Onision, if you're dumping her over and over again and just being cold and distant, and suddenly when she needs help, when she's clearly crying out for some sort of attention or help, you just dump her and ignore her because that's what you think you do with mentally dangerous people. You seem to think that people with mental health issues are a danger to everyone around you. Like, for some reason you thought Sarah was going to kill you and your family, which is just another story of your mental delirium. It's ridiculous.
And then I would just take her back.
Yeah, that's not how you deal with these problems, Onision. For girls getting too difficult, you don't just dump her and then when she's alright, you know, you get back into a relationship with you. Already, you are clearly stating that you were the abuser in this scenario.
She literally said, no one will ever love you as much as I do. Now this woman's doing everything she can to ruin my life.
Yes, but like, not in an abusive way, in a loving way of like, hey, you know, no one has as much love for you as me. You've probably heard that sort of a sentence on a film when there was abuse going on and just thought, hey, that's what I've been through. Definitely. Instead of like, you know, you being beaten by someone saying, no one will ever love you as much as I do, so don't bother trying to find anyone else. You're just scum. You're horrible. That is not at all how she treated you. You crazy, crazy man.
And looking back, she looks like a fat little gremlin. Fat little gremlin.
It's amazing that you think you're, you know, proving something here, when all you're proving is that you are the monster in this situation. You just stated that she was nothing but a fat little gremlin. Amazing. It seems like you haven't really gotten over this. And two, it seems like you're really trying to force her to look like someone bad when really she isn't. What, you're just a bit miffed that she did a live stream about you? Are you a bit down in the dumps because no one likes you? Is that what's going on here? Say this honestly. If you see this video, honestly, speak out in a video and state that Shiloh was an abusive partner, that she that you had to endure domestic abuse. Say that to me with a straight face, and well, I won't believe you because it's not true. But if you do, then you are, you know, you have no integrity, like not a shred, because that is a laughable statement and the world knows it.
The point is that I've seen and been through abusive relationships, and I've noticed that the victims of these abusive relationships are almost consistently morons.
Right. So that's why I wanted to show you this video. If anyone on the planet still takes Onision seriously after he says something like that, well, like, you're an idiot, I'm afraid. Like, that's an objective fact. Because the thing is, Onision has stated that if you have an eating disorder, you're the dictionary definition of mentally handicapped. He says if you're an addict, then it's entirely your fault for getting into the addiction, and you don't deserve any help. He says that if you self-harm, that you're a waste of space, and, you know, someone else would have deserved that life. So, Onision, you've proved in every one of these scenarios that you haven't got a goddamn clue what you're talking about, because otherwise you wouldn't have said that.
I was a moron when I was going through an abusive relationship because nobody could convince me she was a monster.
Yeah, but she wasn't a monster. She was a very troubled person that had a lot of mental health issues. Like, it's really that simple. Onision, you're the monster. Stop trying to prove that you're not the bad person. That these people you've been in a relationship are somehow evil scumbags. Do you think that's a coincidence? No, you take young, vulnerable girls that are mentally damaged and you do whatever you want with them in whatever way you can, in whatever way you please, and then you state that she's the monster? Like, what are you talking about? She had quite severe mental health issues. Now, I'm not surprised that you don't understand that, or you wouldn't understand how to deal with that, because you have to actually have compassion and empathy to properly manage a person like that. She was just a hassle, that's all it is, and you've just taken this way out of proportion. Now, I know that it's probable that Shiloh cheated on Onision, but that isn't the point of my video. The point of my video isn't about Shiloh and, the lies she said or any of that. The point is about Onision not understanding certain things and saying things that he really has no right to speak out about. She shouldn't have cheated on him, but to be honest, like, I'm hardly surprised she cheated on you, considering what kind of an emotionally detached person you are. Not that I condone that or think that it was a good thing for her to do, but still, is it surprising the way you treat girls? In no relationship I've seen you be in have I ever seen you show signs of, like, actually loving a person. You've even said previously that you don't really understand love, or whether you've ever actually been in love, probably because I don't think you have the capacity to love. It's all based around empathy, so it seems it would be surprising if you had that sort of function programmed into your CPU chip. But as I say, that's not the point. And a lot of you could say, well, there has to be a limit to, how difficult someone can be. With someone like Shiloh, she was clearly incredibly emotionally damaged and had a lot of mental health problems before you two even got together. One of the first emails, I think maybe the first email Shiloh sent to Onision, said that she had previously tried to kill herself, but Onision's videos were helping her. Well, Onision, you can't just expect a relationship to be light and breezy if that's the first thing she ever said to you. You shouldn't just get into a relationship with someone and hope that it will be a breeze, and when it's not, just, disown them. You clearly had that sort of relationship with Sarah because you kept getting her back to live with you, kicking her out, bringing her back, kicking her out. You can't treat people like this. You can't treat people as if you're some sort of higher being. I think you assume that you're smarter than everyone, so therefore, only your way of doing things is right. This is why I don't think you apologize for anything. This is why I don't think you take responsibility for anything, because you think you're right. You think you're right about everything, so why would you? Why would you do this? You fight grudges to the end and you will never hold yourself accountable. So you're kind of broken as a human being. You can't process things normally like the rest of us. So isn't that some sort of indication that you shouldn't trust yourself all the time? Because no one's on your side. No one at all. Everyone hates you. These have to be signs for you, Onision. If you're not going to tell yourself you've done something wrong, you need to look around you and realize that nothing is going your way, and that's for a very good reason. Be humble, my man.
Her own producer said that she was evil, straight up.
Yeah, but she isn't, though. If you think that people with mental health issues are evil, then you're clearly evil yourself. That's, you don't need to think twice about that. People with mental health problems can be challenging. It can be really difficult. It can be a battle sometimes, but if you really love the person, then you'd fight for them. So clearly you didn't care for Shiloh that much if you weren't willing to go through any of this. You treated her in an awful way yourself, and then somehow claim that it's like, you were just being careful because you're scared of her or whatever, that you were filming her for a reason other than for your own petty gains. It's kind of ridiculous and obscene and stupid that you think you're the one that's been abused. You're the victim. What are you talking about? She was a challenged and troubled girl, and yeah, I'm sure she put you through a lot of difficult times. I'm sure you had to do a lot of things you wouldn't normally want to do in a relationship. I'm sure you had to deal with her lying about certain things, the pregnancy test. I'm sure you had to deal with her lying about, you know, wanting to kill herself and that it would be your fault or whatever. These are the actions of a very troubled girl. If you couldn't manage the relationship, you should have ended it there and moved on. You should have got in contact with her family or anyone else that could have helped and explained that this is a troubling situation. Not just blank her out and ignore her. That is not a way to deal with anything.
I said, do you think that she has a mental illness? And he's like, no, she's straight up evil. Her own producer.
Well, he's an idiot then, isn't he? Because that's an absurd statement. What, do you think that as well? Do you think she's actually evil and doesn't have mental health problems? Are you brain damaged?
So I'm not listening to anybody, even the people who know her best. And I'm ignoring the fact that I called the cops on her 3 times.
Okay, this is another great point I'd like to make. That's not how you deal with things, man. Are you that terrified of everyone? You were so scared of Sarah you had to sleep by the garage door or something mental like that? Like, what are you talking about? Like, these people aren't going to murder you. Someone with mental health issues isn't like a violent, psychotic killer. That's not how it works. Are you that detached from reality? Like, this is actual madness at this point. It's like, who are you? Like, you come across as if you're in some way intelligent, but really you're not. You're just deluded. Shiloh was not a danger to you to the point where you had to call the police on her. I'm fully aware that she was a hassle, as I said, and that she may have even pushed you around a bit or whatever. But, you know, that's your choice whether you want to stay in the relationship and deal with it, not become even more emotionally detached from her and call the police because you're too scared of dealing with the problems at hand. It's childish and it's cowardly.
I ignore all these things. I ignore her saying she's going to end her own life and make it look like I did it. And she gets hauled away by the police.
That's the problem, Onision. You don't just ignore her. You don't just ignore her cries for help. That's not... How is that going to solve anything? How is the police going to be able to help this situation? How is ignoring her going to help? Like, what are you talking about? How can you not see the way that you treat people? You can't ignore someone with severe mental health issues. That doesn't help anything. Like, what is wrong with you?
You know, I ignore that. I just get back with her anyway.
Well, don't! What? Oh my God. Don't just ignore her problems and then just get back with her after the dust has settled. Like, what? What? And you can't be saying that, oh, she was abusing me so much that I was scared to leave her, because that's ludicrous and not true.
And she straight up said, oh, I'm pregnant, like weeks before. And this is how stupid I am, okay? I'm feeling worthless. I'm feeling like no one could ever love me, you know, because I broke up with her, ran away. And now I feel like completely empty. I don't know if that's the abusive relationship or that's just my own mentality.
No, it's that you had a breakup with a girlfriend. There's nothing else to it. People feel down when they go through breakups. It's not proof that you've been violently, domestically abused by this girl. Jesus.
But I want to talk to you guys real quick about something going on. Apparently, domestic violence is surging.
Yes, domestic abuse is surging in this country, and I'm the right man to discuss it for 45 minutes, because I've been through it, baby. I am a victim of abuse. I'm definitely not an abuser myself. No way. No one would ever say that I was. That's just untrue. No. Not a single shred of evidence to prove that one.
And all over the world, you could say that people just don't know when to shut the f*** up.
What? There's a surge in domestic abuse because people don't know when to shut up. Who are you referring to? Are you talking about victims of abuse? I don't know what else you could have meant by that. Or are you saying that to the abusers? I mean, that's very obvious that there would be less abuse if there was less abuse. So I don't know what you meant by that, but it sounds pretty bad.
And that would be why, why domestic violence would surge, because you're pushing someone. You guys like Dave Chappelle, by the way?
Oh, right. So you are talking about victims of abuse. It's their fault for not shutting up, and they're dumb idiots. And because Dave Chappelle said something probably very different to what I'm about to say, that makes it all better because he's a celebrity? I don't know what Dave Chappelle said, but I'm assuming that Onision's going to give us a much worse, very poorly understood version of that. Because he's been through abuse, though. He gets it, man.
So, speaking in extremes is, as I've proven already in this video, ignorant. It's short-sighted.
Speaking in extremes is ignorant and short-sighted. yet you just claimed that victims of abuse are idiots. You just claimed that victims of abuse, if they just shut up, there would be less abuse. You've also claimed, as I've said before, people with eating disorders are mentally retarded. So you are one of these dumb people on the internet talking about something you don't get. You are the dumb teenagers you're insulting in this video, by the way.
People who are in the place of the person I was talking to would have two black eyes if they were dealing with someone else. And the reason they would have two black eyes is because a lot of guys don't have self-control like I do. I have self-control from this scenario exactly. There's this chick, like, this is a great example of my self-control. There's this chick named Shiloh, and she slapped the phone out of my hand when I was trying to call the cops on her. Anyway, so Shiloh straight up slaps the phone out of my hand, and she has her arms wrapped around me, and instead of hitting her or doing anything, I just stand there and nervously giggle.
Wow. You really know how to deal with these ladies. You know, I could have punched her head in, I suppose. Maybe that would have been the better option. But instead, I just laughed at her. I laughed at her intense suffering. Silly. I'll never love you properly. You're always going to be clawing for my attention. You're mental. You're actually mental. And you're delirious. And you're very arrogant. And you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. Just get out. And shut up. And just... Anyway, I just wanted to focus some attention onto that because it's insanity, and you know, I'll say it again. Onision thinks victims of abuse are idiots and that they should just shut up once in a while. This guy knows what's what. Thank you very much, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave it a like and subscribe if you want to help support me and my content. Thank you so much. Also, I want to give a massive thanks to Ren for her donation. I really do appreciate that. Times are really rough at the minute with the quarantine, with the YouTube adpocalypse. It's still a nightmare making any money on YouTube, and I do put a lot of work into this, so your extra support really does mean the world to me. It makes a lot more difference than you could imagine. I'm no Markiplier. I'm living on a mere couple of £100 a month, and it's kind of ridiculous. So I really do appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Right. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.